Talk some real estate. The Fed expects interest rates to remain unchanged through 2014, but does this help the housing market or make the housing crisis worse? And what if you're buying a home? Joining us now with some tips on what you need to know to buy is real estate expert Katrina Campins. Nice to see you this morning. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So generally, we heard this news this week. I mean, that seems like it would be good news on the surface. Does it help or hurt the current housing crisis? And if you want to buy a house, is now the time to do it?
Well, generally, we've seen a clear turn towards positive momentum in the housing market. And the Federal Reserve announcing that they're going to maintain interest rates is certainly going to continue to help the housing market recover. In addition to that, we're seeing lower unemployment rates and higher confidence. And that, coupled with low mortgage rates, is going to continue to spur increased buying. The low interest rates are also going to motivate people to abandon their capital accumulation, i.e. savings, where they're not earning high returns in exchange for higher yield assets such as real estate.
So if you now want to go out and buy a home in the next 2 to 3 years, now that we know that those interest rates will stay at that rate till about 2014, number one on your list, you say start living below your means. What does that mean? Get your finances in order before you're going to actually make that purchase?
Yes, start living below your means and spend less than you're making. You also, unless you're going to qualify for an FHA or a VA loan, you must plan to put at least 20% down. And in addition to that, many lenders nowadays are actually requiring to see at least 6 months worth of mortgage payments liquid in your bank accounts. So start saving.
How do you qualify for an FHA loan?
Well, you know, it actually depends. Every state is different, but generally speaking, I would say that people actually need to focus more on the 20% down and start saving towards that, because so many Americans don't save, and that's one of the main recommendations that I give. Also, in addition to that, I would actually advise that you visit your local bank and start establishing a relationship with the loan officer in that bank. I don't necessarily think that you should apply for a mortgage at that point in time unless you're really ready, because they do have to pull your credit report, and that can impact your credit score. But do ask the bank to give you an overall picture of what they will look for financially so that you don't have any surprises later.
One of the things you mentioned to do is go online. I think, you know, it's interesting. My father is a realtor, and he'll say, you know, most people end up going online first before they come to me. Ultimately, though, they need to come to me, but go online first. What are people doing online that's so important?
He's absolutely right. And there are so many free options online as far as mortgage calculators, which can help you assess what your monthly cost will be. PITI, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. In addition to that, many people forget to allocate a reserve for repairs and replacement costs. Owning a home is an expense, and you have to make sure that you allocate enough monies up front.
Before we're almost out of time, and I'll get you to talk about your third tip here. Speak with a loan officer ahead of time. What do you say to do at the bank?
Well, I just think it's important to establish a relationship with a loan officer at your local bank. I think life in general is about relationships and preparation. And so by establishing that relationship now, you're getting ready. Right. You'll be better prepared. And also, they can help you improve your credit score as well, which obviously will help you secure lower interest rates moving forward. And
like we saw with the recent housing issues, people having the goalpost moved constantly. They'll call the loan person and say, now you need these documents. Well, you didn't tell me that before. Better to get that relationship started early. Katrina Campins, we appreciate you joining us this morning and waking up super early out there in Los Angeles for us. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
You bet.